Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Zaji. Guys, do the analysis and share it. आज आप लोग ही करोगे सब एंड डाउट्स है तो पूछ लेना. Good morning, Sudhir. Good morning, Ritesh. Start with 1 hour, complete it in 15 minutes. जो भी doubt आएगा, do ask. आज analysis आप लोग ही करोगे. वन आवर वॉल्यूम डायरेक्शन में दे दूंगा चाहिए तो आप लोगों को. What do you notice? मार्केट स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट कल के दिन में हाई वॉल्यूम के साथ रिजेक्शन, राइट. विद द रिजेक्शन कंटिन्यूटी इन द मोमेंट. एशियन सेशन में डेवलपमेंट यहाँ पे दिखाई थी फॉर द हाई वॉल्यूम. रिवर्सल कहाँ पे हुआ? डिमांड 200% कंप्लीट करके मार्केट टेंड टू मूव इन द डायरेक्शन टुवर्ड्स द लॉन्ग टू कंप्लीट द एलजी पॉइंट ऑफ द प्रीवियस allocation which was at 4209, right? So post completion of that, where was the next volume indicated? The next volume was indicated at the stage of 9. Yeah, post meeting ended 9 o'clock. So which was an indication of LG point completion. LG point completion होने के बाद short trade execution. With the short trade execution, what are the plan of actions that we'll be looking for? Current structure पे development down के लिए था. Right? With that, market was in an iceberg zone of action plan at this stage, and आज का दिन का first high volume यहाँ पे develop हुआ है. If you're saying we should be looking towards the long at the current stage, three-wing setup with that intact ho chuka hai, right? Where is the next point of actions that we can be looking at? If the next 13 seconds closes at this point with a rejection and continuity at 4204, then we can look for an iceberg movement in the same direction and be with the movement, not against it. Okay? So this should be the plan of actions as per the volume. Analysis आप लोग खुद करोगे. उसमें जो भी doubt आएगा, I'll help you out. Good morning, Maithili. यस, डायरेक्ट एंट्रीज नहीं, सेटअप के साथ ही। Sir, use object tree for group drawings. That's better, sir. Object tree. क्या होता है उससे? Let's look. कुछ नहीं होता है। Good morning, Shrikant. Yes, you can do it for yourself if you feel comfortable, but I'm comfortable with what my analysis team is doing. Yeah. So allocation on a same directional movements, if you're drawing it by yourself rather than just cut copy pasting, then it's better to do it in this way because little bit of manual structure, but you will be knowing exactly where the rejection points are and mind gets triggered in the same point, right? Because when you draw, you know the length, right? You know the rejection points. But when you do the same thing with cut copy paste scenario, right? What happens? So just for an example, let's take this and this map, right? So the allocation prescriptions could be right, no doubt, because you're following the same strategy and the allocations. But the understanding of candle movement will drop. The accuracy rate will drop. So I don't do it, nor I'll inform my team to do it. Yeah, beautiful. Good morning. Good morning, Varun. Good morning, Shreyas. What is the mathematical formula for crude oil? TTS 2.0. MTSL फॉलो करके चलो सभी लोग. First target 4219, second target 4235. इतने दिन से देख रहे हो जनाब, आज पूछ रहे हो. सर कल 8 बजे. कौन सा? यूटीसी में या इंडियन स्टैंडर्ड टाइम? 8 o'clock वो इंटैक्ट ट्रेड था 8 o'clock को एंट्री नहीं थी उसका नेक्स्ट कैंडल में था 8:30 8:30 कैंडल में एंट्री थी हमारी उसके बाद S2B1 के साथ ये एंड ये ओके श्रेयस नहीं नहीं एड ऑन इतना जल्दी नहीं वेट करो सिंगल ट्रेड चलने दो पहले स्पॉटिंग देने दो ना डाइल्यूटेड लिक्विडिटी अभी थोड़ा पेंडिंग है आने दो उसके बाद ऐड करेंगे Yesterday morning my MTS didn't trigger क्यों? सिस्टम के सामने नहीं रहोगे? गुड मॉर्निंग तो सर। सर थ्रीविंग सेटअप्स 1 आवर और 15 मिनट्स पे देखते हो? दोनों टाइम फ्रेम, 1 आवर में भी 15 मिनट्स में भी। Sir, volume indication is short side. Why it's going long side, sir? Volume indication is not for short side, sir. Good morning, Usman. Shrikant, please share your analysis. What are you saying? It's for long side, no? देखो यहाँ पे 1 hour, right? Yesterday's indication was towards short, no doubt. But today's indication is towards long, no? This indication is towards the short, wherein market took a rejection from minimality M1 and continued with the drop point. Right? In Asian session, the volume has indicated a movement surrogated point towards the long, right? At this range. With this range of motion, with the setup, movement is towards the long. Okay? Good morning, Suryaji. Good morning, Chinmay. Welcome to the stream. From positive 80 pips to negative 90 pips movement, then added a position with the setup at 90 pips. Negative, both trade closed at 4219. Thank you so much that you had already set the targets. यही करते रहो. एसएल देना सीखो वरुण. एमटीएसएल ट्रिगर नहीं हुआ तो मैनुअल एग्जिट करो ना. रूल्स आर रूल्स. यू कांट ब्रेक इट. रनर्स को निकालने दो पहला, उसके बाद एड ऑन देखेंगे, उससे पहले नहीं. नॉट इंटरेस्टेड. ठीक है. Whatever doubts you guys are having, please do ask. सर नेगेटिव 90 पिप्स मीन्स वो हम सुबह में ट्रेड लिए थे ना यहाँ पे कल, राइट? ये वाला ट्रेड एग्जीक्यूशन 3 विंग के साथ सुबह में जो लिए थे, वो उसका MTSL ट्रिगर नहीं हुआ था इधर 80 पिप्स पे। तो एंट्री पॉइंट से नेगेटिव 90 पिप्स मूवमेंट आने के बाद वो फिर से एड ऑन S2B1 के साथ किया था, वो बोल रहा है। एंड ही क्लोज द ट्रेड एट दिस पॉइंट। कितना बोला? 1319 या गुड मॉर्निंग नीलेश। Why the intact is looked in perspective of candle body only in case of high and like 2 to 3 large volume candles in green indicates that it will go towards short. How to analyze volume in 1 hour and like 2 to 3 large? What you guys are total sitting next to each other and talking, is it? Samar and Nilesh. Good morning, Samar. So mathematical concept 2.0 के लिए हाई लो कौन सा टाइम फ्रेम पे देखना है? Niket, you're watching us from last 1 week, correct? So time frame is clear. It's 15 minutes. Just let go the volume candle of meeting. नीलेश वॉल्यूम चैप्टर पढ़ लो ना, क्लियर हो जाएगा। So message got mixed up. I guess you missed the last part of the question, I guess. Let me check. Why the intact is looked in perspective of the candle only? In case of high wick candle, why don't we consider the wick as intact zone, or am I missing something here? The allocation perspective is taken in the point of action, which is looked in preservance of a movement action, right? So when movement action is considered, intact point of diluted liquidity is only at the range of wick to body point, right? The entire body will be taken under the consideration only when there is LG point created, right? So in yesterday's scenario, if you notice, what do you see? There was a LG point created over here, correct? Group analysis में जो share किया था नीलेश, right? So definitely market will create a diluted liquidity till the intact point, wick to body range, right? With that wick to body range only the continuity in the movement could be there with the LG points. If there is no LG point, definitely what will market do? Market will come, take the intact and continue with the movement, right? So if LG point is there, the entire body will be looked in perspective. And if the movement is segregated between candle to candles with forming a right wick range, then it will be acting as only wick to body point, right? If you notice here in that movement action plan, market gave a structural break, S2B1 formation at this point, and continuity in the movement, right? At this point, the market didn't cover this range. Why? Every range doesn't need to be covered because 1 hour intact was completed. If you notice over here, what did market tend to do? Gave a break, came down, created intact and continued in the movement, right? So the formation is always in delusion of allocations. Don't get into the preservatives of reconversion points. So example wise, 4 hours. The reason of this entire drop, if you guys want, revise 3 days back analysis in the live streaming. LG point cover होने का wait करेंगे, cover होने के बाद ही break and continue, right? So every movement action plan has to cover the diluted liquidity range in the movement to allocate the structures in the directions, and then only the movement should start, not prior to that. Am I clear here, Nilesh? So if market has not created an LG, and if you're having a wick to body range as an intact, then hold it till the wick is created for the candle, right? So in this case, the wick wasn't created. Moment, we had an intact point, covered, execute the trade with the setup, right? If there is no LG, wait for an action plan just to intact and continue, right? So that should be the major allocations which you have to look at. How to analyze volume in 1 hour, and like 2 to 3 large volume candles in green indicates that. Follow the chapter intact, Shreyas. Shrikant, the analysis what you have shared, right, is a right analysis. First execution point of allocation was showcased in the point of movement towards the short. In today's Asian session, first high candle volume was created in pursuance towards the long. Na? In the short movement, high volume is act in pursuance to look on which direction? A reversal point of action. Na? Setup created है, hence we had looked for a long. Short के लिए कहाँ पे बना है वॉल्यूम यहाँ पे? Long के लिए बना है ना? Again, आपका allocation गलत हुआ है, श्रीकांत. फर्स्ट इमेज में आपने मिनिमलिटी सरप्लस मैप जो किया है, राइट, वो गलत है. अलोकेशन यहाँ से करो ना. फर्स्ट पॉइंट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट के लिए कहाँ से लोगे? पॉइंटिंग. दिस इज योर फर्स्ट पॉइंटिंग एक्शन. ओके, so this pointing action will get a play over here, right? So with this allocation, double it. With the double allocation, rejection point, surplus मार्क करने के लिए हमारे पास 150 से रिजेक्शन नहीं है, 200% से रिजेक्शन है, right? In pursuance to that, the first action plan to reach this point was this range, ना? So ये range of motion के साथ first action plan, break and continue 200%, right? Now the scenario changes in the consideration of 2 point of action here, Shrikant, right? So if this breaks, that's when the new allocation of surplus will get played, which is this point, correct? What are you noticing? So that mapping doesn't needs to be reallocated because your first come first serve allocation is at the wrong point. Your entire analysis got changed in this range. Okay. So please redo the analysis and keep be in the follow through. So sometimes you consider S2B1 with three candles only. Yesterday, could you please explain difference between two candles and three candles? 1:30 p.m. UTC, right, Usma? Thank you, Shrikant. UTC 1:30. 1:30 में सेटअप का है. 1:30 नहीं, 1:45 पे एंट्री है ना. Now the next allocation point will get into this list, Shrikant. Following through, one thing that you have to observe is what this candle is having. Come on, guys, four more points. TP1 के लिए. 19 ब्रेक होने के बाद 35 का टारगेट है, उससे पहले नहीं. तुम कहाँ से कहाँ तक लेके जा रहे हो? एमटीएसएल के साथ फॉलो में रहो ना. टीपी हटाओ. टारगेट अलोकेशन तब प्लेसमेंट करो जब आईडी ट्रेड में हो. स्विंग ट्रेड में क्यों लगा रहे हो? हाँ, वॉलेटाइल कैंडल्स में टीपी अलॉट करो. ये तो डायरेक्शन है, ये थोड़ी वॉलेटाइल है. ये मोमेंट में आपको टीपी अलॉट करना था, जो कि वो मिस कर दिए कल आप. 180 पिप्स में क्लोज होना था, 140 में क्लोज किए हो. यहाँ पे क्यों लगा रहे हो टीपी? यहाँ पे एमटीएसएल और टीएसएल फॉलो करके चलो. उसमें allocation is always looked in perspective of three candles only. S2B1 is known to intact. A and C candle should intact. Post then only the execution. Second candle पे execution नहीं हुआ है वहाँ. ठीक है. सर ऐड ऑन कर लेना चाहिए था. नहीं यार, रुक जाओ. जितने भी रिटेलर्स रनिंग में बैठे हैं ना अभी, उनको डाइल्यूट करेगा. बिकॉज वॉल्यूम चाहिए फिर से मूवमेंट कंटिन्यू करना है तो. सेकेंड ग्रीन कैंडल 3 विंग सेटअप 2 पे होता है। S2B1 सेटअप S2B1 इंटैक्ट में थर्ड कैंडल पे ही होगा, या इंटैक्ट कवर होने के बाद ही होगा, उससे पहले नहीं। ठीक है। 3 week formations in the opposite direction of the movement, fourth candle break of the 3 wing, fifth candle intact, then execution, that is setup 2 of 3 wing. If intact happens on fourth or fifth candle, then it can be considered or not. If it's intacting the candle A on the fifth candle or the fourth candle also, it can be considered. But intact should be taken in consideration of the rejection at the candle A, not prior to that. Sir, आपका कोई learning का group है क्या? No, we don't have groups in mind. We have only group for LTD and book. That's it. Public domain group नहीं. Connect with the team. They will help you out with buying the book in the Amazon. Sir, if I sir, have a doubt. If I allocate first come first serve at 6:45 IST, it's 100% rejection. Sir, but you doubled it. Didn't get that. No, it's not 100% rejection. ये red candle ऊपर जाके 130% से rejection लिया है, correct? So when the 130% rejection is showcased, definitely when you're mapping it, that is already in a green candle. Closure, no doubt, red में हुआ है, but allocation structure continuity में आएगा ना, श्रीकांत? आपको कैसे पता कि एलजी पॉइंट कवर करेगा ये करे? मुझे नहीं पता है, मेरे एनालिसिस को पता है कि उसे कवर करना है। और एनालिसिस किसकी है? मेरी। श्रीकांत, rewatch the intact session videos ना। 7 hour candle is M2, no sir? एक्सरसाइज की एक सेकंड। 7, no, it's not M2 sir. Allocation 1, first come first serve supply, right? This supply will get mapped in this point with the wick, right? With the wick allocation, it has given a break of supply 100%. Henceforth, this is supply 200% only. M2 फॉर्म नहीं हुआ है सर वहां पे। Intact concept, yes. LG concept, no. LG concept is followed only in certain stages in crypto and all the time in gold. Indian markets, we follow intact, we follow supply and demand, we follow minimality, we follow surplus, structural inbound points of action, nothing more. क्या हुआ कल के एनालिसिस? Oh, beautiful. Same action plan, 200% break and continue. Map the surplus. One, redevelopment. Do we have 150% rejection? No. First point of action, 100%. Second point of action, surplus. Surplus pointing, minimality M2 form, M2 targets on break of 150. Right? Step by step process. For beginners, allocation 1, break and continue. First exit 150, second exit 200. So I got a doubt at you mark S2B1 so that I am unable to execute, sir. I saw that image, sir. I'll explain you that. 1 second. Okay. So Nifty clear, guys. So that is the mapping what you guys will be following. Second BTC. Beautiful rejection. 200. Continuity in the drop point. 1 high wick range. So we'll be mapping it with the wick. Sustained same range, no break and continue. So new allocation post the surplus action planners first come first serve. First come first serve point of action 1. Sustainable movement 2. Supply conversion point 1 to 150% rejection. It hasn't completed the 100% range, but the new allocation will be taken into the play. Remap the structure, Trishul formation के साथ. This is the first targets. For ID, conversion, swing high, swing low, retracement for the whole targets. Okay. So 15 minutes. Allocate the new surplus. So यहाँ पे sir, what is the one major thing Suresh ji will be following? Candle 1, candle 2, candle 3, S2B1 formation happened, right? So with this intact completion was there, henceforth this is taken in consideration to the execution prospectus. Okay, Suresh ji. टारगेट क्या है? रिवेंट करके देख लो. 4215 पे एंट्री है. एसएल देने को तैयार हो जाओ जनाब. रनिंग कैंडल्स में एग्जीक्यूट मत करो यार, कितने भी नए हो. दिस इज द बेसिक रूल. Let the market form the setup. With the setup only execution. एक तो लाइव टारगेट देखे जाएंगे आज. चलो. 30 pips more for the TP1. डुलुलु यही करते रहो। अगर जिनको भी डर लग रहा है 50% एग्जिट करके छोड़ दो। रिमेनिंग लेट इट रन। 20 pips more guys for TP1. अगर 19 ब्रेक होता है छोटा सा रिजेक्शन आपको 25 से मिलेगा। उसके बाद डायरेक्ट टारगेट 35 है। 6 minutes on candle closure, 1 hour का। Twenty more pips. जो भी डाउट से पूछ लेना। Stream will be closing in 10 minutes. Okay. So, Shrikant, let me change this to black color. Okay. Action point 1, right? If you notice, it has given break and continue, correct? So when there was action looked in pursuance of the map out, what do you notice? Okay, there is a green movement, correct? So till the time it hasn't taken the rejection, definitely what you'll be doing, you will be mapping it for 150, right? So थोड़ा इस तरफ करता हूँ, right? If you get the point, because 100% के ऊपर sustainability दिखाया था, so we had marked this range, ठीक है? And यहाँ पे 150 पे रिजेक्शन लिया ही नहीं है, if you notice. 150 को अगर मैं मैप आउट करूंगा यहाँ पे, दिस इज द 150 रेंज का लिया है रिजेक्शन, उसका नीचे ही रिजेक्शन हो गया ना. एंड व्हेन इट केम बैक with the formation, it directly came till 200%. Henceforth, the target we have mentioned is 200%. Hope your doubt is clear now. सुरेश जी, आपका भी डाउट क्लियर हो चुका है यहाँ पे शायद, because you also had the M2 doubt over here now, sir. 4219.363. जैद जी, एग्जीक्यूशन स्टार्ट हो गया आपके? New 1 hour candle without wick, I am not interested. टारगेट हिट करने तक जाने दो, चलेगा. उससे ज्यादा नहीं. नो ऐड ऑन. Liquidity calibration, slightly it works only in Q1 and Q2. एक पॉइंट ऊपर जाके उसके बाद रिजेक्शन लेने दो, उससे पहले नहीं गए, मजा नहीं आएगा. कम ऑन, ब्यूटीफुल. गुड मॉर्निंग आर्या. क्या क्लोजिंग टाइम पे आ गया आज? नहीं यार, 4218.486 से रिजेक्शन ले रहा है, नहीं चाहिए मेरे को, और एक पॉइंट ऊपर आओ. Why are you so confident that market will take rejection from that range? Because daily intact point है वो. कल भी मार्केट उसी पॉइंट से रिजेक्शन लिया था. अगर ऐड ऑन करना है तो यहाँ से रिजेक्शन लेना पड़ेगा. अगर ये डायरेक्ट ब्रेक करता है देन 42.25 पे जाके उसके बाद छोटा सा रिट्रेसमेंट एज पर द फर्स्ट कम फर्स्ट सर्व डिमांड क्रिएट करके उसके बाद कंटिन्यूटी में आ जाएगा. सो कोई नहीं, 0.600 पिप्स की डुलुलु है, चलेगा. बट गुड. अब सबको बाहर करना है, तब मजा है. जो जो ट्रेड में एग्जिट कर सकते हो, आईडी वाले, 210 pips is not a bad number. एंड जो जो 4203.141 पे एंट्री है S2B1 के साथ, 460 pips running, sorry 260 pips running, MTSL take home will be 200. देखा मैंने 40 pips कैप्चर कर लिया 4215 पे एंट्री करके. भाई मार्केट 4215 पे एंट्री किए हो तो 40 pips गया ही नहीं है, 27 pips से ही रिजेक्शन ले रहा है. बट इफ यू आर हैप्पी, आई कांट डू एनीथिंग अबाउट इट. कितने लॉट से इसे ट्रेड करते हो आप? 0.01. ओके, गुड. आप कितने लॉट से ट्रेड करते हो? 0.01. It was a fun Friday. All the beginners, whichever strategy, whichever concept, whichever learning you guys are executing in life, just make sure. So please show the TTS 2.2, sir. I marked that already reached. Yes, correct, sir. It's reached. First level is reached. Second mapping you will change, no, sir. Second mapping allocation. 1, 2, 3. क्यों हंस रहे हो आर्या? So anyways, all the कल के लॉन्ग ने रुला दिया था सर, ऊपर नीचे ऊपर नीचे. Okay. So जितने भी beginners है, rules is very simple. Whichever strategy, whichever rules, whichever concepts you guys are following, 6 months of back testing, 6 months of forward testing, 1 month of live analysis, then come with a smaller capital. With smaller capital, just make sure that you compound it with following a proper risk to reward. With following a proper risk to reward, just make sure to control on your greed, fear, and FOMO. With that, how can you do it? Through reading books, meditation, and yoga, right? So once you do that, make sure you don't give your accounts to manhandle nor follow any tips. Learn and then earn. When you learn by yourself through a mentor, you will be having that confidence to execute the trades for yourself. It's your hard earned money. Make sure to execute the trades with the proper analysis, your mindset, your execution, your setup, and your analysis. This is Nitesh signing off. Happy weekend everyone. मिलते हैं मंडे को तब तक के लिए टेक केयर बाय बाय.